Our bandwidth is so poor, we can't watch it straight. I've got to download the videos once they get on the website.
I'm fortunate my bandwidth is pretty good because I'm teaching at ACC online.
All right.
I haven't stopped working. But I did an online class before everything hit the fan. So I had already learned how to do it. So I wound up being the mentor because I had one class under my belt. So
I'm sure you're handling it with great aplomb there.
well, I will say I'm enjoying my commute from my classroom to my living room. I really am enjoying that.
Don't forget to wear pants when you do it.
Yeah,
I knew of it, but I had a tie on.
yeah, there you go.
No,
There you go.
that's good. Good impression.
Almost like an almost regular class. Amazing.
Fatherhead instructor?
Now to intermediate and beginner level students and students from home. Welcome everybody. Today we're going to keep working on those brush knee pushes and maybe look at brush knee push number 4 if we can get to it. And black cess training, important point number 9, I think. And then up for grabs, or I'll come up with something, or we'll do fast form for Master's Path. And yeah, let's get started. Oh, I forgot to take those off. I will sweat. I will fog my face up. Okay. Let's go ahead with that breathing. Place your feet comfortable distance apart. Hands on the lower abdomen, lips lightly sealed, and teeth gently meshed together. Allow your eyes to close. Begin to focus on deep, relaxed breathing. As you breathe in, feel the abdomen go out. And as you breathe out, feel it come back in. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. With each breath, begin to imagine a cascade of relaxation flowing down the body from the top of your head all the way down to the bottoms of your feet. Feel your face and jaw relax. Neck and shoulders relax. Chest and upper back relax. Shoulders and arms feel heavy. Stomach and lower back relax. Feel that flow of relaxation through your waist, into your hips, through your thighs, backs of your legs. Feel your knees soften. Feel your calf muscles relax. Your ankles relax. And the bottoms of your feet relax. Breathe in deeply. Breathe out slowly. Be relaxed. The next time that you breathe out, go ahead and open your eyes, lower the hands. Let's do some embracing horse. what you're doing, but sit your seat back just a hair, yeah. And so the seat, because you were just leaned forward just a tiny bit more. So don't lean more, keep where you were. And from here, actually lean a little less, sit up a little bit. There you go, good, good. I have to say, adjusting and bracing horse is the most difficult thing to do verbally. It's easier to just touch and feel instead of, I'm gonna put the right words on this. And release, straighten the legs, lower this hand, circle the arms up, inhale. And press the palms down to exhale. Very good. So, since everyone here is familiar with this first section, any questions so far on anything that we've done so far in the first section, since we've got more in-person people? Hello. Yes, sir?
On single whip,
Single whip. Anything about particular with single whip?
the step, I've noticed you are in this direction. You step back.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really do that too well, so I've been rotating to step out.
So the question is the step in single whip. Mr. Watkins observed that I tend to kind of have my back already turned this way and I step back, which is eventually what you will be heading towards, versus, so let's see, single whip. So it's stepping back is what he's noticed, and then I shift and turn. He has difficulty with that, so he finds that he is already turned this way and then steps.
Yes, ma'am, exactly.
So what you'd like to do is work more towards the other, because it's that upper follows lower, substantial, insubstantial. I know this isn't really basic training talk, but again, we don't really have new students joining us, so everybody watching at home and everyone here has seen this material before. By being here, my weight is here, and if I start doing this, the weight, it's very hard to keep my weight here and this be completely light and step. So it means I've already shifted my weight into that front foot as I step, which is what kind of the groundwork of Tai Chi we try not to do, if that makes sense. Because I want to be able to step so that then I can shift and put my weight and my balance behind that move. So we talked, yeah, that's it, yes. So think about that step test that we talked about at the beginning of the unit. So what I would do to practice that is just practice, you know, playing with, in particular for this move, stepping back.
I find that the step test doesn't give me as much range of motion as I thought it would.
If you sink a little lower, it will.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the higher you stand, the shorter your steps will be. The more you bend, the longer your range
perfect.
is.
Thank
So
you.
if I'm up here, that's as far as I step. If I put a bend, I get a little bit more. Good question. Does that help give you
Yes,
something
it
to practice?
does. Thank you so much.
All right. Yes, that looks exactly correct. And but make sure you turn your toes in so you don't wrench your knee, your back toes. Make sure you turn your back toes in so you don't wrench the knee.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the first section up to brush, knee, push 3? No. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. We'll do it once from step left all the way through to brush, knee, push 3, and then we're going to focus mostly on the brush, knee pushes and possibly put on the next one. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And no need to call back, but I will call names. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press and push. Single whip. Make sure you're on that right foot, which will help be able to step with that left. Good. Turn your toes in a little more, Mr. Payne. Back toes. Turn your right toes in more. There you go. Lift hands. Strike with shoulder. White crane spreads wings. Brush, knee, push, 1. Good. Playing guitar, 1. Brush, knee, push, 2. Brush, knee, push, 3. Good. Release. Any questions about those brush, knee pushes? Brush, knee pushes, brush, knees, push? I'm not sure what all of that would be.
Tried the step on the single whip, I think it worked.
You think it worked?
I think it worked.
I wasn't sure at first. I think it hurt. I'm like, no, that's not what I was going for. I think it worked. Yay. I love it when it works.
I think.
So anything with the brush, knee pushes so far?
There was something, but now it's slipped my
Well, let's
mind.
do it some
But
more.
it
If it
was-
comes- go ahead.
It was in the, maybe when you shift and then turn, I'm not sure.
Like you're not sure of what the timing is of the upper body?
Perhaps, that might have been my problem.
So the timing is some not nice person is throwing a punch at you. And so, yeah, it's like, don't do that, it's rude. So the brush knee part is blocking that punch, okay? So I block, but I'm not gonna shift yet because my shift comes as I'm gonna brush that punch and push my opponent away. So the push comes from the shift and the turning in of the back leg, if that makes sense. You hear me talk a lot about the hand movement isn't moving because of the hand is moving because of something else with the body, and this is a prime example of that. So don't get hit. And then if I did this, if I've shifted and I've pushed, there's not a lot of force or power behind that. However, if I basically extend this and my body weight goes behind it, there's a lot more weight and substance behind that move. And to me, it always helped me when I was learning these to kind of think about what I was doing, and then it made more sense as to why my body did that. Because you're right, it's like, well, do I shift and then do it? Well, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to get somebody, yes, that looked correct, to get away from me. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, thank you.
Good, good. So a key principle would be if your arms should really kind of feel like they're not doing much. I mean, like they're along for the ride. Yes, I am I'm doing this and I'm doing this, but I'm not telling them where to be in space. I'm like, I'm doing this, and then this just kind of happens because honestly, if I'm here and I don't move my arms and I move my body, they end up where they need to go without me doing those two moves. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
That's not a beginner concept, but it's a good question, and I like to plant seeds. Thumbs up, I like. All right, so let's go from the end of white crane spreads wings, and we'll go through up till brush knee push 3 a couple of times, and we'll demonstrate, and then we'll see if it makes sense to add on brush knee push 4. All right, white crane, and brush knee push 1. Remember waist. Good. Playing guitar 1. Yeah. Brush knee push 2. Rock back, turn, brush knee push 3. Sink down, step in, step out. Shift, turn. Good. Reset. Brush knee push 1. Playing guitar 1. Brush knee push 2. Brush knee push 3. One more time, reset. Brush knee push 1. Playing guitar 1. Brush knee push 2. Brush knee push 3. Good. Okay, release. All right, I will demonstrate. I'm going to come do that. Okay, so I am in brush knee push. Remember your waist. Try to resist the urge to just move the arms. It's my waist. Brush knee. Playing guitar. Same thing, waist. Then on this one, if you're feeling like as you lift back, you're feeling the need to lean, again, that's waist. So my posture is still upright. I'm not having to kind of lean back. And that comes from shifting the weight to the back, releasing this heel, and then turning my body as a unit. And that gives me the space to turn and get my arms where I want them to be so that I can sink down, step in, step out, and be set up for the brush knee push the way that I think it's supposed to work. This one, it's just going to feel weird. I don't know if it feels weird to you. It did for me, and it still kind of does. I mean, it's natural, but it's the only one like this. And well, I know there's 2 that come from that direction, and it just feels different. But a locked up waist is going to mean that the arms go, and in order to shift back, I'm leaning, and that doesn't feel good. It kind of pinches my back, and it puts a lot of strain on that leg. I'm going to show you from the correct angle. Observe anything helpful. Oh, my hip popped. Good. Been waiting for that. And then here's what I mean. I shift, and then I turn from my waist, so that then I can shift into this foot in a stable, healthy knee way. Ending position, the push hand is palm out with your fingers roughly on line with your shoulder, roughly. I mean, there's nothing exact with Tai Chi. It's roughly there. and then the other hand will be by your side, palm down. But again, not like rigid. It's, think about what you're doing. Don't punch me, you know, but I'm not forcing them. So, any questions? All right, let me see it, please. I'll call out the name, so brush, knee, push. Very good. I mean, yeah, white, great, and now brush, knee, push 1. Tai Chi salad, starting to mix names up. Playing guitar, 1. Brush, knee, push 2. Waist, yeah. Brush, knee, push 3. Yep. Good. Release. Okay. One thing I'd like to do is kind of loosen up the arms a little bit. So, take your right arm and rotate it towards the inside. Really, not with the shoulder, like just swing from the elbow. There you go. Elbow. And now add the other one in. And you can maybe feel like alternate. Yeah, there you go. Relax, Mr. Payne. Momentum.
Trying.
I know. It's my job to encourage.
I feel like I'm trying to swim and it's not working.
Right, yeah, you're right. Swimming because it comes from shoulder. So
Yeah.
this, I'm giving a little bit of a lift in maybe my bicep to get my elbow over, and then I'm just letting it flop. So just let gravity.
I'm feeling a little pop up in here.
Yeah.
Old surgeries.
I have those too.
I know you do.
So I'm not feeling it in my shoulder. And I think this is a good exercise, because if you can get comfortable with this maneuver and not feel it in your shoulder, you're on the right track. Because this is, I'm not saying do that, but this is brush, knee, push. It's I'm relaxed and I push. So that's where these, when you hear us say, turn to the right elbow, by the right elbow, turn to the left, right elbow, you know, right arm by left elbow, that's what we're doing. It's relaxed. Swing, 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 swing.
Nice.
So your homework, should you choose to accept, is to go home and swing your arms. And know that you will be enhancing your Tai Chi if you can get, in fact, for my Black Sash test, the way we did this application was, either sometimes we're like, they throw a punch, and this one was, they stood there and threw a bunch of punches, and you did this, and then you just had to decide when to go. So, I like to play with that because it gets that relaxation in with this application. All right, so we've loosened up our arms a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that again together. And do you guys feel like adding on that fourth one, or do you want to stick with the third one? I see thumbs up there.
We're gonna add.
We can add. I got 4's across, 4 from the 4. That's good. All right, let's do it. Okay. So, white granny spread wings. Brush, knee, push 1. Waist and relaxed arms. Playing guitar 1. Brush, knee, push 2. Brush, knee, push 3. Brush, knee, push 4. Rock back, pivot on the right heel, left hand by right elbow, sink down, step in, step out, shift, and turn. Shift a little bit more to your front leg, Mr. Payne. Yep, there you go. And then don't sit up, just a time, yes, very good, very good. Okay, reset. And begin, brush, knee, push 1. Playing guitar 1. Brush, knee, push 2. Brush, knee, push 3. Brush, knee, push 4. Rock back, turn from that waist. Sink down, step in, step out, shift, and turn. Yeah? Good. Yeah. Any questions? Comments? Feedback?
I like this better than the video.
Yeah, it's,
But thank you for both.
oh, you're welcome. Yeah, trying to accommodate how to, this new normal is it's a learning experience. But, I mean, I'm, as a student too, the black section classes, I've been taking it from my living room, and it is, I mean, so I definitely, I'm on both sides of this equation. All right, we have time, and we can do just the brush knee push section like 2 more times, or we can run it from the beginning through brush knee push 4. What's your take?
Start from the beginning.
Beginning, all right.
Sorry about the phone, ma'am. Sorry about my phone. I forgot
Happens,
to
it's
turn it
okay.
off.
All right. Step left. Commencement. Ward off right. Remember, I'll always say the name before, so you don't have to feel rushed. Ward off left. Ward off right. Pull back. Press. And push. Single whip. Lift hands. Strike with shoulder. White crane spreads wings. Brush knee push. Playing guitar. Brush knee push. Brush knee push. Brush knee push. And since we're close to the end and you guys have seen this before, playing guitar 2. Brush knee push 5. Step forward, deflect downward. Follow along, it's fun, no test. In hand punch. Withdraw and push. Cross hands. Feet together. So close, so close. I think we can get to the end between now and next week, which is the last week of this rotation. So I think we can do it. Any final questions or comments or feedback or anything like that before we bow out? Yes, sir.
Comment, I had heard before that on the brush knee pushes, this is your counterbalance.
Correct.
Okay, so if I get off balance sometimes and I realize it's not out there providing that counterbalance.
So yes, his comment was that, you'll hear us talk about counterbalance in Tai Chi, and the arms, whether it's single whip or brush knee push, or, there's any number of them, that this is sort of a counterbalance. And if he was saying if he feels off balance, he'll do a counterbalance check and realize it's not there. So, yeah, and then on that other one, it happens on this side, which is easy to miss. A lot of times the arms will get shortened on that brush knee push 3. So in your home practice your loose elbows, and then practice that third brush knee push, and make sure that the arms don't end up kind of smushed into your body. Let that counterbalance happen for you, so that it'll make more sense. So if you have an inkling to practice, those would be my 2 suggestions. And with that, let's go ahead and bow out of basic training. We follow the 5 hearts: faith, respect, perseverance, patience, and humility.
Bottom-head instructor?
Bow to intermediate and beginner level students and students at home. I'm glad you're here. Basic training dismissed. Grab a quick drink of water, shake out your legs, and we'll come back for an important point. Important point number 9. How many people do we have?
This is nice.
3.
That's good.
So 3 and 7. Excellent.
Yes.
That's an upgrade from the chair. Got that monk look going over there.
Oh. Ninja, monk.
I forget to turn my phone off since nobody ever calls me.
Unless,
I'm
of course,
surprised when it happens.
unless, of course, there's a class going on.
Of
Yes.
course.
Then
That's the
everybody.
only-
The COVID-19 did not stop phone spamming.
That's true. That's for sure.
I just got one that said, this call is being recorded. Are you so-and-so? No. Debt collector. I said, I'm not so-and-so, don't call me back. Thank you.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of, this is not class related. I had a couple of calls up that, hey, someone's tried to, incorrectly log into X account. Press here, if that was you, great. If it wasn't you, press here. Like, of course it wasn't me. Of course you're scamming me. I know, doing that.
Your Microsoft license is expired? That keeps coming around.
All right, quick run through of the important points. Who knows number 1?
Head.
And suspended.
That's
Right.
correct. Who knows number 2?
Chest,
Shoulders.
Or
concave.
chest.
Okay.
So head suspended, closed chest, lift back. Number 3,
Loosen waist.
that's correct. Loosen the waist. Number 4,
Substantial and
Substantially
insubstantial.
on fire, substantial versus insubstantial. I know, it's good, I love it. Number 5,
Shoulders.
shoulders and elbows.
And elbows.
Number 6,
Mind, not strength.
mind not strength. Number 7,
Ah, you got me there. Don't tell me.
Inward, outward?
No, that's
That's 8.
That's 8.
You're so close though. What comes, to me they go together.
Mind, not strength. Come on.
Pressure's on.
Yes, it is.
Upper fall is lower.
Yeah, oh,
Upper
my
thigh.
favorite.
Upper fall is lower is 7, and then 8 is,
8 is
Inside, outside.
Inside,
so
outside.
here we are, number 9. They start getting more and more and more esoteric as you
Very.
get towards the end.
Very.
So this is connected without interruption. A hard one when you are learning Tai Chi because there are so many stops, so many, and they're really hard to take out. But hopefully hearing about this will help inspire the want to try to find places where you're stopping. So connected without interruption. Commentary. In the again, he's gonna throw it under the bus. Like, external, it's just, it's like Tai Chi is so gentle. Why are you gonna throw shade at other disciplines? But it's doing it a little bit. In the external systems, there is the postnatal kind of localized jing, like force. Therefore, there is a beginning and an end. They throw a punch, there's throw the punch, and my punch is finished. Continuous sections are broken sections. When the old strength is broken and the new strength hasn't been born yet, at this time it's easy for others to take advantage. In Tai Chi Chuan, one uses mind and does not use strength from the beginning to the end. The form is continuous without interruption, circulating or cycling indefinitely. As the original treatise says, like a long river and immense sea, continuous without end. It is also said that delivering jin is like pulling a thread of silk from a cocoon. This all means moving continuously as one jin. So the short version of that is, even when you're in between techniques in Tai Chi, you're not soft. You are soft. They're not rigid, but there's no opening. So what they're trying to say is in traditional or more external style, I throw a punch, but when I'm here, before I do my next thing, I'm not doing anything. So there's an opening there for counterattack is what the idea is. With Tai Chi, let's take our brush knee push sequence. Brush knee push is this, but all the way from here, I am involved in that movement. I'm not ever not engaged. I'm engaged quietly and softly and neutrally without tension, but I'm not like, there's a difference in quality to it. So that's what this is about. That's why Tai Chi is powerful. is because there's no in. And it takes a lot of time to cultivate it, because in order to not have any in, you have to have your head suspended and your chest bent, and your balance and your stepping and your footing and your root and all of those things that are really challenging and take time to learn. But the end result is that there's no in. So it's obviously it's a defensive art form if you have to use it. There's no attack in Tai Chi. It's not an attack, but it's got components built into it so that it's. I describe Tai Chi as like if it's used against you, it feels like you've hit a bounce house. You're like, boom. I mean, there's no in, and continuous without interruption is one of the main ways that creates that defense. In theory, does that make sense? Like,
Yes, ma'am.
in execution, I know it's a whole different universe. I get it. I get
Since
it.
we learned with the stops all along.
Exactly. So, as he said, we learn with the stops all along. So, try watching one of the instructors. You know, I mean, I know you watch us, but watch with a different eye. That even if we are saying it slowly, we're not necessarily stopping. We've slowed down as we wait to call that next move, but we haven't completely stopped. And so it's an invitation to find ways that you can find, identify, and smooth out your stops. So, let's do the first section. I don't care about where your hands or your feet go. I don't care about if your waist is loose. I mean, I care, but it's too much. So, think nothing but trying not to completely stop. You will probably find that this wants to speed you up, because one of the beginner ways of slowing your form down is stopping. So when you take those stops out, oh my gosh, it's so fast. So just take that with some patience if you find that happens to you. Try to follow my pace, and if it's uncomfortable, just, you know, relax, let it go, don't beat yourself up. So continuous without interruption. Alrighty? And no names, just follow along. Begin.
It's hard.
You said it was hard. Was it hard for you watching at home? Was it hard? It was a hard one for me too. Any other comments about how that felt?
I might have missed something there, but I'm not sure. I think I did it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, that happens a lot. He said he might have forgotten something, but he's not 100% sure that he forgot something, and that happens to me. And that was part of my lesson with inside-outside coordinated, is that I'm not coordinated because I was somewhere else on the inside versus where I was on the outside. So, and normal, just, I think I did that. Not real sure if I did. Anything else?
My speed changed a bit. I was kind of slow, and then all of a sudden and then I had to stop and say,
Yeah.
wait.
So she said her speed changed. And one of the helpful tips that I was reminded of, kind of watching everybody out of the corner of my eye, one of the ways you can help slow down is to slow down your steps. Because what will happen sometimes is you'll be nice and slow here, and then you'll just take a step like you're walking, and that throws off that makes you speed up because you've shifted. Oh, I got to catch up with where my feet are. So one of the lessons is to learn to, be slow even with, with the steps that you're taking. But that was a big one for me, is I found that I was stepping, like everything else is slow, and then I'm like, pook, and then and so that will affect your ability to move continuously or change your pace. So good observation.
It's a good thing to work on. Homework.
Guilty, guilty.
He said guilty. There's no guilt here. It's just, people have been training this for hundreds of years. Chances are someone has done the exact same thing that you're doing. So take great comfort in that. You are not alone. It's like, I can't do that. Most people couldn't. You just have to keep working at it. And you'll hear me say keep a playful attitude about it versus because it's so easy to get cranky about it not going the way you want it to. So we're just at time, but let's go ahead and do that first section one more time. And begin. piece that I want to share because then it'd be unfair if I didn't. When you think of stopping, think of a pendulum. You know, there is that micro minute where it stops before it, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't just poof, hang out there. So that's the kind of stop in Tai Chi. There's a time that my hands and my feet may stop. My center is not stopping. So that's a further layer to that onion, because invariably, like, Ms. Durkin, but what are you talking about? Sometimes my hands do stop. Yeah, they do for that split second, like a pendulum, but your center is probably, you know, on its way to the next move. So again, between stepping slowly, think of that pendulum, and think about the continuous uninterruption being your center. That'll make more sense as you practice these moves, or when those questions come out. That's not right, because this is happening. I know. Anyway, my job, exploding synapses, one class at a time. But again, this is black sash training. This is giving you, at an earlier phase, the material that will help you succeed in your Tai Chi goals. This is advanced concept, so don't feel obligated to like, I should nail that. Yeah, I'm still working on it. So happy to share it with you. Hope it's helpful. And with that, let's bow out of black sash training. Do our life skill, dragon. The path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. The path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. A creative spirit has no self-doubt. The path of self-mastery requires a creative spirit. Creative spirit has no self-doubt. I love when she thinks spirit is her name. It's not. It's not.
I wonder what that was.
That was my watch. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I'm not talking to you, watch.
Head instructor?
Found you intermediate and beginner level students. Black sash training is dismissed. Good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Yeah, master's path. If you guys would like to stick around, you're welcome to.
We have,
You have a thing?
115.
we got time. I think
You
that's
said
right.
earlier.
We're not changing clothes.
Actually, a strike.
Mhm.
Strike, is that coming from the right hand, like, give slapping somebody, or?
It's
Those are relaxed.
a face strike, so it's lift, check, elbow.
Okay, so it's more coming straight and down from the side. So I've been doing it wrong, okay.
So I mean, it looks like this when you finish, but the,
It's more coming straight.
Yeah.
I didn't slap, give slapping.
right, and everyone thinks it's playing guitar from the other side.
Yeah.
It's not, so that's a good question, yeah, so it and it's looking, but you get there differently. Good observation.
I've just been doing it wrong, and I was trying to figure it out.
Got it, because I, for myself, I was like, it's just from the other side. No, it's not.
Yeah, well, that's-
Oh, that's wrong, when I cut the application. All right, master's path. Any, we're gonna do fast form. If
Fast
they-
form is good for me.
I know, but technically it's not your class.
I know.
So, and any of the orange sashes like to put in a vote for, otherwise we'll continue working on slowish fast form.
Yeah, that would be.
Whatever's good. It's all good. It's all
Yes,
good.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Okay, so have you caught the classes before where we were dabbling in fast form a little bit?
Yes.
Okay, so this is also gonna help, ironically, with continuous without interruption, because you don't stop in fast form. So we do it to remind ourselves where we're weak in our sequence. We do it to declutter our form, to find out where we're putting extra stuff in that we don't have time to do when we are moving at speed. We're trying to be fun. We're trying not to stop. So yeah, let's do the whole first section at a slightly sped up, not particularly fast pace.
We're gonna follow your pace.
Perfect.
Okay.
And if I go too fast, sorry. We're head instructor Fig and senior head instructor Fig and I have this habit of like, this feels good, and you don't realize, but you've ramped up and you turn around and everyone's like, what have you done? So I'm trying not to do that. All right. And relax. Here we go. Did I speed up? Sorry. Feedback, questions, comments, suggestions, experiences.
I was right with you for a while, then all of a
And
sudden.
then you weren't. You said it was right with you. Now, you sure, did you miss that I turned that into one move? Is that where you got
I
mine?
have.
So, because remember, there's a couple places where the way we teach this in beginner, the moves will get internalized as you get into the intermediate advanced sections. And the two moves that happens in the first section are white strike with shoulder and white crane. In fact, in the intermediate classes, a lot of times we won't even say strike with shoulder, we'll just say white crane. So we'll be here and we'll say white crane spreads wings. So we teach it a little differently. And then the second one is the hidden hand punch, where we don't make this big production out of this, which is super important to learn it, but in execution it's not, it's more. So those are the two places where if you try to put those things in your fast form, you will look, why is everyone 2 moves ahead of me? So I was one of those people. I'm like, where did, oh, you did that, okay. Try it again?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
And begin. I will try not to speed up.
I kept up that
You there?
time. I made strike the
Almost.
shoulder and weight crane one movement.
Yeah.
Almost, getting there.
It's actually easier to do it.
It
that
is,
way.
it's much easier to do.
What, oh, to not stop between the moves?
Yes.
Yeah.
More fluid.
It is, and that's, he said it's more fluid, and so you'll hear me say many times, practice your form as slow as you can without it breaking, and then practice it as quickly as you can without breaking. It's not a race in either direction. I'm gonna go the slowest ever. Well, slow provided you can keep your head suspended, your chest concave, continuous uninterruption, your substantial and substantial, like you, because there's a limit to that, because you can be super slow, and you are all muscle, and it is terrible. It feels awful. It's not what Tai Chi is about. Same thing with fast. You can go so fast that it's broken. You know, it's not connected. The moves are incorrect. You're not moving from your center. So we say there's a continuum. Go as slow as you can for your ability and your experience without having your Tai Chi break, and go as quickly as you can with your experience and abilities without your Tai Chi breaking. And that those limits are going to expand as your experience expands. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. One more time.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Same pace, or you want to try a little quicker? Just
Up quicker,
You can take it up.
okay.
take it up,
Let's go.
take it up a notch.
And begin.
It fell apart, but I got back in line.
It's all right, it's great.
When you
So,
start thinking about, okay, the next step is this, then that's when I lost it.
Yes, so she said that if you start thinking about what comes next, the whole thing falls apart, and that's totally true. So, that's that sequence part we were talking about. So if you find that happens, that's probably an opportunity to go, when you slow it down, like, okay, make sure I know what comes next. So it's good information. And hopefully it's fun, like it's.
It is.
It
I've
feels
never tried to
good.
do it that fast. It was less fun than it's going to be.
He said, the first time going that fast, it's less fun than it's going to be, and that's absolutely true. Stressful, don't like it, but you know, you just roll with it, and it gets more, and you know, just relax, go with it, and have fun with it, and hopefully it's another tool for your home practice that gives you some variety. So, because I know, obviously, in the old days, you just worked on one move, not even the whole section, one move until it was mastered, and then they gave you the next move, you know, so we are not wired that way, so I do better by having an assortment of things I can practice, and hopefully this gives you another thing that you can practice. So variety is important. So with that, let's bow our master's path.
Bow to head instructor.
Bow to intermediate and beginner level students and students at home. Master's path training is dismissed. Good job, everybody.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, instructor.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You know, one of the things that I think I miss most, not most, but up there,